Hello everyone, my name is Kevin Porter and this is my collaborative activity for week 6. So overview, I chose simple and compound sentences, clauses being independent and dependent, and prepositions for my third one. So definition, simple sentence, a sentence consisting of only one clause with a single subject and predicate. I saw her the day before yesterday, being an example, being I the subject, and then saw her the day before yesterday being the predicate, subject, and verb making one independent clause, making one simple sentence. Then the compound sentence, a sentence with more than one independent clause, usually joined with a conjunction. The lightning flashed and the rain fell. So you have the lightning being the first subject, flashed being the verb, and being the conjunction, and the rain being the second subject, and fell being the second verb. So two subjects, two verbs, two simple sentences, essentially making one compound sentence. So an example I have here, I study hard for my test, equals simple sentence. You see one subject, one predicate. Moving on, she changed the light bulb, but she didn't like fixing things is a compound sentence. You see first subject, first predicate, then you see the conjunction, but, second subject, second predicate, and that makes a compound sentence. So help me. So simple sentence, knowing that a simple sentence only has one subject and one predicate, no more, no less. It's pretty simple. A compound sentence, meaning multiple, tells me that there's more than one. Multiple, more than one. Compound means multiple. So it's fair to say that a compound sentence is two simple sentences, two subjects, two predicates equals two independent clauses equals one compound sentence. One subject, I visited the beach and I got a really bad sunburn. I being the subject, visited the beach, predicate, and I, subject again, got a really bad sunburn, being the second predicate. Independent clauses are clauses that can stand alone in a sentence expressing a complete thought. For me, powerlifting and eating are my two favorite activities. That is an independent clause. Dependent clauses are an element that adds to a sentence but cannot stand alone as an independent clause before the food gets cold. Alone, that phrase makes no sense. It's not confusing, but I'm confused. And that's how I felt while I was putting this together. So let's throw some more examples in. So an example, independent clauses are just complete sentences. It has a subject and it has a verb. Susan forgot to set her alarm. Susan, subject, forgot, verb, forgot to set her alarm. That's the predicate. One subject, one verb, one predicate. That makes one independent clause. So that means it can stand alone. So what's a dependent clause? Dependent clauses still have a subject and a verb, like independent clauses, but they need more information to be a complete thought. So a dependent phrase would be when the cat is sleeping. That can't stand alone because it makes no sense. Even though you can physically write it, in grammar, it needs more information. So because the word, if you took the word when out and you said the cat is sleeping, that would be an independent clause. But because you have when, that word, which is a subordinator, it pretty much demands or depends on more information. So I would have to add something in. When the cat is sleeping, the mice will play. So it makes sense and is a complete thought. I was watching television. If you tell me that, that makes sense. The dependent clause needs more information to form a complete thought. While I was watching TV. That alone makes no sense. So while I was watching TV, my mom was making dinner. Now that would make sense. So even though I didn't need to cover it, complex sentences, a sentence containing one or more dependent clauses in addition to the main clause. When the bell rings, being a dependent clause, walk out. So when the bell rings, walk out. That entire phrase is an independent clause, but if you separate it, when the bell rings, walk out, alone, those phrases would not make sense. In other words, it is an independent clause and a dependent clause in one sentence, and that will make a complex sentence. Prepositions are joining words that establish a relationship between things according to place, position, and time. Where, when, how. The passenger can run after the bus, can run away from the bus, can run towards the bus. That's a reference I took directly from one of the required readings of a couple weeks ago. Think of it as a bridge of joining two landmasses together. Yeah. So a preposition is a bridge. So think you have the beginning of a sentence or the rest of a sentence, then a preposition, then a noun. I put my book in my backpack. In being the bridge between the beginning of the sentence and the noun, person, place, a thing. In this essence, backpack being the thing, being the noun. I put my book in my backpack. What gets people with this is the decisions part of the word. If you say propose, then I think of prepose. Yes, I spell wrong, but I think propose, like you're proposing to your girlfriend because you want to get married one day. Meaning to establish a relationship. So I know prepositions are establishing relationships between two things or just things. Any questions?